Welcome to Breaking Sales, a podcast dedicated to helping you have tough, meaningful, and rewarding conversations with your prospects and clients. In meaningful, what we mean is these are the conversations you truly feel like you are the prospect or client's conversational peer. There's no anxiousness or uncertainty holding you back. You feel a sense of calm and confidence in asking the tough questions. You're not thrown off by the bad news, and you expect the prospect to think about and invest into the conversation as much as you do. On Breaking Sales, we use the filter of psychology and innate human behavior to deconstruct the many misleading sales approaches that actually work against your efforts to build trust and close the business. Let's get started. As you look ahead to 2026, here's a question that might make you uncomfortable. Are the things you're currently doing going to get you to where you want to go? If your current mix of routines, processes, and skills were going to deliver the results that you want, you'd already have them. That's not a judgment. It's a fact and an opportunity. Today, I'm going to walk you through a planning framework I've cultivated, coached, and used over the past decade. I designed it to help me stay brutally honest with myself about what I need to change and why. It's a healthy, but sometimes scary look in the mirror to gain clarity on what's working, not working, and needs to be added. It forces you to identify the specific thinking and behaviors holding you back, the new disciplines you need to embrace, and the strengths worth doubling down on. But there's more to it. If it was as simple as a hard look in the mirror, most of us would be walking around experiencing and feeling tremendous fulfillment because we are stretching and accomplishing what we want to achieve all the time. Easy peasy. So today we're going to go beyond goal setting to explore the psychology behind procrastination, how your brain defaults to worst case scenarios when you're about to take new action, and why it's so important to try and be aware of what you're thinking as you make choices. I will also introduce what many high performers use to guide their improvement efforts. When we are done, you'll have the foundation for a business plan that's built on self-awareness rather than wishful thinking. If you're ready to move beyond the fallacy of traditional goal setting, this episode will give you some ideas and framework to make 2026 a potential breakthrough year. Let's get started. It's always unique and interesting whenever I prep for a podcast episode, right? I always think about, oh, I'm supposed to be the expert. But at the same time, I always think about the mistakes that I've made. Right? How did I gain those experiences and what were the lessons learned? So much of what we do in the realm of being a sales professional or in the expertise or competency regarding business development, so much of what we do is about risk, right? It's about our own mindset. It's our ability to trust ourselves. It's a very intense career. And I don't think sales or sales professionals or those in business development get enough credit for the intensity and the demands and the pressure that they're under or that we all feel because of this career that we've chosen. So as you think about 2026, I want you to think about it in a unique way. It's called Stop, Start, Continue. I did not come up with this. I was taught this 10, 12 years ago. And what it is it's a thought process where I want you to list out as you think about 2025 and your transition to 26. What is it that you want to stop doing in 2026? What is it that you'd like to start doing in 2026? And continue to do in 2026. In that process, let's use as an example for stop. What do you want to stop doing? I think an easy one for most people would be you want to stop procrastinating. There are certain mindsets that you have. There are certain behaviors that you have, right, that lend themselves to procrastination, pushing out outreach, whether it's email or phone calls, right? Pushing out follow-up. My gut is a lot of what you're doing there, if you do procrastinate on those particular activities, has a lot to do with the natural innate negative bias that you might feel, or loss aversion, right? When you think about the outreach, you may think about, well, what if they don't pick up? What if they don't respond, right? What if they tell me they're not interested? So you have that thought process in your head as you debate the actions of the outreach. So what will you innately do? More than likely, you will innately pull back and procrastinate from that outreach. Same with follow-up, right? You're supposed to follow up with a prospect, and you know at the end of the meeting, it was a so-so end of the meeting. And you know that you're not sure if they're going to want to meet again, or if they're going to want to continue to talk, or if they're going to want to move forward. And so in your head, you start thinking about, well, what if I reach out to them and they don't respond? What if I reach out to them and they tell me that they're not going to move forward? What if they tell me that they're going to do an RFP? What if they tell me they're not interested at this point in time? Again, your thought process has a negative bias. So your actions will be, you will pull back. So for many of us, including myself, because I've realized that this is something I've got to get better at too, is avoiding that what if something doesn't go right? What if it doesn't happen? And change that to what if it does? So a good stop would be avoid procrastination, stop procrastinating. A good start would be, let's try to focus on the what if possibility in a positive fashion versus the what if possibility in a negative fashion. Those are two easy examples. Other examples of stop are maybe stop jumping in quickly with your competency. Start slowing down and prioritizing your curiosity. Other stops might be stop going into the week without your calendar fully confirmed, right? Start would be use Sunday so that by Monday morning when you are going into the office and you're ready, you've already got your calendar confirmed. So those are some easy examples of listing out what do you want to stop and what do you want to start. But you also have to start thinking about what do you want to continue, right? And in order to do that, you have to be very objective. Maybe you want to continue, right, to be very disciplined in your calendar. Maybe you want to continue to use some kind of scheduling philosophy or strategy that helps you manage your calendar. Maybe you want to continue a certain behavior where you get up every morning. You're up at 5:30 or 6 and you get that workout in. Maybe you want to continue journaling, right, before every day. What are you most happy for or grateful for or thankful for the day before? So during this particular day, that morning, you're starting yourself off thinking about all the things that are good that are happening, no matter how small, right? What do you want to continue? You want to continue to work on the power of your questions. You want to continue to work on slowing down and developing that executive poise in your conversations. Continue to work on your prep. So again, as you think about 2026, do it a little different this year. Make your list of everything that you want to stop. Be objective about it. Don't judge yourself. Make a list of everything you want to start. I've been doing this for a long time, and there are plenty of things on my list that I want to start. There's plenty of things on my list that I want to stop. And then also make your list of what you want to continue. And what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to how do you feel when you're done? Because if you've done a really good job of being objective not judging yourself, taking yourself to task, embracing that. By the time you make your list of everything you want to stop, everything you want to start, and everything you want to continue, my gut is that you will feel a sense of relief. You will feel a sense of calmness. You'll have a little clarity. You'll have this good feeling because you've been honest with yourself and you've allowed yourself to identify the challenge areas. You've allowed yourself to identify the strength areas and the improvement areas. But I do want to come back to, as we continue to talk about this today, I do want to come back to this negative bias. A separate exercise might be make a list of everything that you've procrastinated on and that you currently procrastinate. Whether you procrastinate a quarter of the time, half the time, or all the time, make a list. Most of the things that are on that list will probably reflect your negative bias of not wanting to take the risk, not wanting to experience rejection or make a mistake. So because you don't want to experience rejection, you don't want to experience a negative experience, make a mistake, you pull back from whatever activity it is through that negative bias, because that's how you're looking at the action. Make a list of all those things that you feel fall into that negative bias. Because here's my gut. Most of those things that you write down, what you want to achieve in 2026 is on the other side of those things that you just wrote down regarding a negative bias. So I'll say that again. Whatever income level you want to achieve in 26, whatever sales level you want to achieve, whatever fulfillment you want to achieve, whatever experience that you want to achieve that you envision in your head, it all lies on the other side of simply one day at a time trying to overcome and push through that innate negative bias that causes you to pull back from the activities that you know you need to do in order to create and achieve and experience what you want in 2026. Quality and the consistency of your outreach, email, voicemails, LinkedIn, whatever it might be. The quality and the consistency of your conversations. Are you getting stuck in the friend zone? Do you over pursue the relationship because it makes you feel better and you pull back from asking really, really good questions? Improving the quality of your listening, where you're listening out of curiosity versus judgment. Improving the quality of your decision-making in conversations. Do you slow down, prioritize learning, prioritize questioning, or do you seek to validate yourself really quickly so you share competency out of the gate or quickly and you jump to it, right? All of those things happen sometimes before we even know we're doing it. And a lot of times, once again, they happen because of the mindset that we have. We are viewing the world through a negative bias. Write them all out. And everything that you want is on the other side of them. Now, the other thing I'm going to add to this is make a list. Again, be objective. Allow yourself to do this. No one's going to see this list. No one's going to judge it. Remember that. And make a list of everything in 2026 that you'd like to achieve. These can be very objective goals. I'd like to earn X amount per year. Great, right? I'd like to sell 10 new logos. Great. I'd like to develop 10 new COIs, centers of influences. Fantastic. I'd like to host 4 events or 6 events or 1 event per month. Those are all things that you'd like to achieve, and then some. Maybe there's a course you want to take, right? Maybe there's an action that you want to take that you haven't done yet, right? List all the things you want to achieve. Second, list out all the things that you want to create for you and maybe your family or those close to you. Are there certain vacations that you'd like to be able to go on later in the year? Are there certain investments that you'd like to make at some point in 2026, right? Are there certain networking opportunities that you'd like to create? Is there a certain brand for yourself that you'd like to create? Make a list of all the things that you'd like to create in 2026. And then lastly, what are those experiences that you'd like to have? Would you like to experience more wins? Would you like to experience consistent pipeline? Would you like to experience less anxiety, less frustration? Make a list of all the things that you'd like to experience. So now you should have this achieve, create, and experience. And you should also have what you're going to stop, start, and continue. And when you look at those lists, right, build your business plan from those lists. Build your business plan around what you know you want to stop and prioritize one or two of them, what you're going to start, and what you're going to continue. And those things should all align with helping you achieve what you want to achieve and create what you want to create and experience what you want to experience. And there will be some overlap, but that should be the foundation of your business plan. Mentally, remind yourself throughout the year, you're always in the process. You're in the process of getting better at stopping whatever that action or behavior is that you wrote down. You're in the process of starting and getting better, all right, at whatever action or behavior you want to do more of or start. It's always a process. That mindset will help you take the pressure off in the moment, because you know each time you try to do something different, it's just part of that process, and you don't have to be perfect each time. But if you continue to be consistent each time, as that process unfolds over 1 week, over 1 month, over 3 months, you will get better and better and better. So remind yourself, you're always in the process. You're in the process of earning, right, what you want to earn. Learning what you need to learn to earn it, making the connections in the relationships needed to earn whatever amount that is. It's always a process. So remember that as well. And lastly, as we wrap up here for 2026, put together a little board of directors, all right? Pick 2 or 3 people. It could be a mentor. It could be someone you admire. It could be a peer. But pick a few people purposely and put together maybe a quarterly call with them where they agree they will get on a call with you. And every quarter, you go through your progress. You talk to them about what is it you wanted to stop, start, and continue. You talk to them about what is it you're trying to achieve, create, and experience, and the process and progress you're making along the way. So pick a group of 2 or 3 or 4, but 2 or 3 is great, of individuals that you know will be honest with you, all right? They have your back, and they will give you the truth, even if it's the hard truth. Meet with them once a quarter. Put the calendar dates in your schedule, as well as obviously theirs. So now you've got a little bit of peer accountability to add to your own accountability. I'll say it one more time, just to make sure everybody's got it. Stop, start, and continue is your first exercise. Be honest with yourself. Be objective. Don't judge yourself. The second exercise is achieve, create, and experience. What's important to you? What's out there? What do you want to achieve, create, and experience for you, your family, your friends, whatever it might be? All right? Remind yourself along the way you're always going to be in the process, because it is a process, and that's what high performers do. They focus on the process and put together that board of directors, your personal board of directors, and meet with them once a quarter. Get it in the calendar. Build your business plan off of that. It's an easy place to start. Thanks for tuning in. Look forward to speaking with everybody in 2026. As you plan for your new year, remember that this framework works because it forces you to be honest about where you are and intentional about where you're going. The stop, start, and continue exercise does more than just help you identify problems. It helps you create a clear action plan that leverages your strengths, minimizes challenges, and allows you to build toward future success. It focuses on what you can control, which is you. But here's the thing. Most of what you'll identify as needing to stop or change will trace back to moments when you let your mind focus on worst-case scenarios instead of best-case scenarios. That voice that talks you out of making the call, asking the tough question, or following through on a difficult commitment. It's not holding you back from failure, it's holding you back from what you want in life. The difference between those who hit their goals and those who don't is the willingness to act when their mind is telling them all the reasons something might not work. High performers have learned to flip that script from what if it goes wrong to what if it goes right. I can't emphasize this enough as you sit in your car, office, or on a walk. Your 2026 success isn't going to come down to being perfect or having perfect conditions or perfect timing. It's going to come from aligning and connecting your honest self-assessment with a clear vision of what you want to achieve, create, and experience during the year. Now's the time to have the courage and really assess your thinking and how it impacts your behaviors, your actions, and your decisions. That's the difference between another year of good intentions and finally getting the results that you want. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.